Hey guys, welcome back, Attack. I'm Silenced Shore, and today I'm going to give you my first impression on a new map for Nosgoth called the Silenced Cathedral. This map is a little bit different from the other previous maps, that we have played so far, because it's more like clustered, it's more like claustrophobic. It's very like close quarters combat oriented. Now, a lot of maps have some alleyways or some parts of maps that are very close, tied together, and then there's very open areas. And what that tends to do is that vampires tend to want to come from a certain direction, and humans want to kind of camp in these different open areas, because it's easier for humans who are long-ranged to defend themselves a little bit better from the very fast and very strong vampires who need to, they need to actually get close to do their damage. So humans like to stay in open areas, and vampires like to stay in close quarters areas. So this map, this new map, has this very interesting balance, where every single part of the map is very equal in terms of openness, in terms of variety of different pathways and exit ways. Now, I mean, it's not completely symmetrical or anything like that, but for the most part, it is way more balanced than previous maps, okay? So it's still more on the close side, though. It's very close quarters, so just keep that in mind. But still, pretty much most of the map, though, is very, I guess, kind of square. A lot of maps have very circular areas, almost like Colosseum-style areas. This map, no, it's just very square. It's just a bunch of square different rooms, and then the rooms open up to different hallways. But I mean, it's very square. It can be kind of boring, I guess, in a way, but at the same time, maybe that's going to make it one of the more competitive maps, because it's not so open, and it's so that way it's a little bit more dynamic. Humans are going to be in more alleyways and more areas. There's no one open area that humans are going to need to stick together because that's their best chance of survival. No, it's more like this is kind of fair for vampires. And I know that kind of sounds strange. A lot of people, newer players, think vampires are completely overpowered, but the truth is that people who are really good at humans, really good at aiming, arena shooters and stuff like that, the humans can actually dominate vampires. I mean, sure, if the vampires coordinate, but a lot of the times it's kind of hard for vampires to coordinate, especially if the humans are in an open area. Then they just see everyone coming. It's pretty obvious. So this map, I feel, is actually really balanced. It is a little bit stronger for vampires because close range combat, but with the addition of the Vanguard and maybe potentially some new classes coming into the game, balance-wise, things are going to be a little bit different. Humans are becoming a little bit stronger close quarters. Not only that, not only is there potentially more classes upcoming, but you also have new items being added every day, new abilities, perks, and stuff for the vampires, for the humans, and per individual class. So the humans aren't just now long-range characters, they can actually do some really good damage close range. And the vampires aren't all aggressive offense. We even have the Summoner, we have the Deceiver, we have some very unique classes that actually do have some really good range and play a little bit differently. It's not just go ham in the face and play it like a fighter. No, it's not like that. So there's a little bit more balance, and I feel like that this map also kind of encompasses that game design philosophy. So yeah, it's a little bit square, and there's nothing crazy, unique, different about the map. I think overall, though, competitively, it's pretty fun, and it gives me a balance of gameplay that I really like. I just always constantly feel like I'm on the run as a human, and I always constantly feel like I need to get to my teammate. And I like that there's not too much open space, okay? I know for a shooter, sightlines, super important. This map has very little sightlines. It really feels more like a Call of Duty map, very close quarters. There's only very specific hallways that you can snipe down and stuff like that, so it is really hard as a human, but at the same time, humans aren't just, long-range characters anymore. You can actually play them really strongly as close quarters combat. But keep this in mind, guys, even though it is close quarters, this map really emphasizes teamwork because there is no open areas for people to directly assist everybody else. And if vampires all jump into the same room or whatever, then an alchemist is just gonna blow them up. So even though it is close quarters and it's easier for vampires to engage on humans, it still doesn't mean that it's easier or better for vampires. In fact, every single game that I had with all these people here on this test server, it was actually incredibly close. Now, I did very well. I had a lot of fun with it. Overall, there were some awesome plays being done by everybody, and I just really liked the balance of the map. Even though first impressions I felt like it was a little bit overpowered for vampires. Now that I played it a little bit, I can see that it's actually just overall quite equal. Though still, as a scout main, I like the more open maps and things that are a little bit more geographically kind of intense. I like big giant towers in the distance games, and I love huge asymmetrical maps, and it's an asymmetrical game, so that kind of turns me on. But this map is actually very just kind of equal, man. It feels very similar to a Call of Duty map, where there's no one point that's super duper high or super duper low. It's very kind of symmetrical. I mean, the map isn't symmetrical, but it kind of feels like that. It just feels overall balanced. Just saying, man. First impressions. Nothing too crazy complicated or technical, but yeah, just kind of my vague feelings while playing the match there. But yeah, I think they did answer a lot of problems that people have with other maps, and this map, even though it's not too exciting, it doesn't stir my soul or anything, overall I did have a lot of fun, and just graphically speaking, it does look pretty good. But keep in mind though, guys, that the gameplay that you just watched is actually like alpha. It's like, well, alpha for the map. It's test server, and it still has a lighting pass to go through. It is still not actually done. It's still not finished. There's still some clipping issues and stuff like that. Maybe you caught that in the gameplay or whatnot, but it's gonna actually look better when it goes live. But I just wanted to say that, yeah, the game's still, updating. There's still stuff, there's still perks, still weapons, still potential classes, still maps. There's still actually support for this game, and it looks like the developers are loving it, and the players that do play this game are loving it too. I know that the player base isn't too terribly high. I myself have dropped in and out of it quite a little bit, but it is still being updated, and so that's something to look forward to. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Silenced with Attack Gaming, and this was the new map on Nosgoth. Hopefully you guys can download Nosgoth. It is a free-to-play game, by the way. I mean, if you guys didn't know, if you live under a rock, it's a free-to-play game. It's pretty cool. Hopefully you have fun with it. I had fun playing the game, and I'll see you guys again next time. Welcome back, Attack. Today we're going to be talking about the top 10 free-to-play MMOs for this year, for 2015, and I think across all the genres for free-to-plays, we've seen so much innovation in MOBAs, in MMOs, in like card games. We've seen so many new things this past year, and hopefully, maybe, probably so, 2015 is going to be just as exciting. This is our